Perry Pencil.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Perry Pencil. Today we're going to be dealing with the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. Yes, I'm talking about another 80s cartoon favorite of mine, Transformers. And today I'm going to be drawing Optimus Prime. And I have to say, when I was coming up as a kid, they were the most difficult the most difficult toys to transform and deal with at the time. And as a favorite pastime of mine, I enjoyed all of the animated shows. And on that note, let's begin. Put a line just before the top of the page so that he doesn't go off the top of the page or you chop off the head or anything like that. And we want to go ahead on and put a circle in, or oval rather, for the head. You want to treat this like it's a regular human form, and we're going to put a line to divide the page in half, of course, so we know what's going on right to left. And so his body is not normal, so we're going to go ahead on and put a line like this, and the top portion of his body is square. So what you want to do is you want to have a box shape coming like this, and then just come over here like this. And this should be a very simplistic type of drawing, if you will, because it's robotic. It's not like you're drawing muscles and things like that. So the way I'm doing this is you have one line here, this is parallel here, and then here. Then you want to have these two lines parallel on an angle this way, and then you want to chop that off like that. Okay, so then we're dealing with form and like blockade forms, and those are shapes of boxes. And okay, so what you want to do is you want to come straight up with a line like this, and you want to round it just like this, and then come down to the other side. Now from there, I want to go ahead and put a line straight across this way, because this is where his mouth is going to be. He doesn't have actual lips and things like that, so it's very simple. So we want to put a border here and a border there. Okay, so then right after that, we're going to go ahead on and follow these lines and go ahead and put the eyes in. So I'm going to put the eye lines in right here, and then go ahead on and just kind of put an oval shape there. Just simply put an oval shape here. And then for the bridge of the nose, I'm going to go ahead and go a little dark so you can see what I'm doing clearly. And then bring the bridge of the nose down like this. Now for the eyes, you just want to go straight across this way, come down, over, and then it comes back up again. It has a very robotic look, so we don't have to worry about it looking flesh-like or being difficult to match a portrait or a character. All right, so now that you have the eyes done, he almost has like a baseball cap look here that I want you to follow. Go straight across just like I'm doing. And then go ahead on and come up to the middle here. Lightly touch the middle. Don't go dark. Don't complete this line. It's broken because he has a triangular shape that comes down this way. If you follow what I'm doing, you'll see. Then this piece comes up off of the top of his head this way, like that. Okay, now just as I stated before with his torso right here, he has a similar kind of idea going on right here on the helmet, and it makes it very simple here. And you can just put lines like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Off of that, you want to put a line here and a line here. Now this is going to complete the portion of the forehead top of Optimus's head, and bring that around like this. And then he has a piece here, as you already see it drawn there. And now we're dealing with the outer portion of Optimus's head. And you want to, it looks like he's wearing headphones almost. So to measure this, you want to come just up above the baseball cap that we have here for his head. Come out to the side, come down just before this line and stop like that. Do the exact same thing on the opposite side. I always encourage that so you don't forget what the shape should look like. And then it causes you to draw it differently for some reason. I don't know, sometimes that happens if you're not completely ambidextrous from right to left when you're seeing stuff. And he has antennas that's going to come up and come past this piece just right here. It's going to come past that. And do the same thing for the left side. All right, we're almost there. Now for his mouth, literally, it's a line that comes up like this and go over like that, and a line that divides that, so you can go as dark as you want. And then there's something that tapers over like this, looks like the portion of the mouth that he talks. Now the head is done. So now we're going to go back to this portion as I spoke about before, and then finish the rest. Angles. The next thing you want to do is we want to go ahead on, and for now, let's go ahead and put circles in so we can keep this as simple as possible. And then have a line come down like this, stop here, and then the rest is going to go off the edge of the page like this. And you'll do the same thing on this side, but the thing is, if you notice I have this space here is covering this area, so you don't see that on this side. So let's go ahead on and get this going. And you'll see these shapes change a little later on, and I'll show you how. And what I like to do is usually match up from side to side. So if you see the circle here, just do a light line like this across and put a circle there as well. And then just have this line go off the page as well. So from this form, we're going to start here and deal with the rest of the body shape. So I'm going to put a contour here, which is the edge of the shape of his chest. Okay, so you want to put a line there. And then he has a line that kind of goes in this way, right? So we want to establish what shapes he has on the exterior of his body. Come down like this. This will be his waist. And then we're going to repeat the same thing over here. And then right here, we're going to put a line here because this is actually where his hips are. And then it's going to actually align with this here. Okay, so draw a line from here to here, and I'll show you my finger. I had that line go there like that. Okay, we want to do the same thing here. Have that line match up, and there's the edge. All right, so this goes off the page. So we have an angle here and an angle here, and we'll stop there because beyond this point, this is where it stops. And I'll put the line there so you can kind of see where I'm stopping the line at for the drawing. And this is a new way that I'm doing this. So those of you who want to leave a comment, and if you want to, but this is where I'm chopping it and then the drawing is. So this is what we're dealing with here. All right, so let's go ahead on and deal with the rest of the shapes for his body, and then we'll start with the head last. All right, so for his left arm, we want to have a box shape come over here like this. So you got 1, 2, and then 3 comes out this way, right? And if you follow me step by step, I promise you this will not be a difficult drawing. It's all just box shapes. And you have a box that goes, or a line that goes back into space like this. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do a little bit of analytical perspective. And I'll tell you that while I'm drawing, it's where you're drawing through shapes and overlapping other shapes. And for those of you who are just starting out, whatever you do, if you notice, do not go too dark. These lines are not really dark versus these lines. So what we want to do is have a line that comes down like this. Come over this way. You want to close this line this way. And this shape actually comes back in this. So this shape is going to, line is going to follow this line here. And it's going to go back into space as well. And I want you to understand, those that are watching this video, is that Transformers are very, very angular and robotic. But I will tell you that this right here is nothing compared to the Michael Bay version of Optimus Prime or any of those Transformers. They are a completely different version. And I want to explain to you the differences there. It's simply that the Michael Bay version is very mechanical and very realistic. So when they transformed, it really looked like they could do it. And in the 80s cartoons, as I'm doing here, this version of Optimus Prime is just really simplistic shapes, squares and things like that, and rectangles and simple shapes that you can really do. That is not hard to mimic and when you're drawing. All right, so right now what we're doing is we're just boxing in the shape of Optimus's arm. And he has what looks like a cylinder here. So you want to bring a line here. Comes down just to this line. There's a dividing line here that I'm gonna mark in really quick, and that line goes there. So I can tell that that's what's used to measure this. And then right before the edge of the shoulder, the shape does the same thing. So it's this tubular shape here. And then there's a smaller shape that comes out the top of it like this, just above his shoulder here. What we want to do is we want to deal with his upper chest, and we're going to come off this line here. So basically we're going to come up to the center, and it just simply comes up and it tapers a little bit and comes over to his the left side of his body. And then you want this line to come down this way, just like it is over here. And then you want to continue this line just like this. And what it looks like is they wanted to attempt that the arm is moving away from the rest of the body, the robotic body. And so they have this piece here and this piece here. And then there's another space for it here and here, like this. All right, and so behind this, it goes just like this. And then the back side of his body tapers in this way. And then it comes under. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close off this end so we can see what's going on here. We have a line that's going here and here. And then you have a line that comes down the center this way. And then there's a arc that comes on here. This is like the rib cage. So when you think about tractor trailers, those type of trucks, what they do is like they have a grill in front. So the grill is Optimus's rib cage. So you want to have that come around. And the way we can match that up is have a pencil line come over there very lightly and come over to this side. And for those of you that are watching this video, please bear with me. This drawing is very technical. It's very technical, excuse me. It's not as simple as just drawing rounded shape and forms of a regular muscle on a figure. So I'm asking that you bear with me for this particular drawing, because it isn't a Transformers drawing, which is very, very detail oriented. So it's going to be a little bit more labor intensive. And then this comes around like that. So if you notice, I kind of have that the grill going, and then after that you have the grill that from the front come down like this, and you don't see the top of it too much, but it does have borders. So what I mean by borders, you want to put a space in between, so there's a line here and line here to separate the two. And then you want to have a line that comes over like this for the center. And what I like about the illustration for the animated show is that it's not complicated at all. So if you see here, I just put a line, a vertical line, horizontal line, it's going straight down for the grill of Optimus's, the front of his body here. All right, so that portion is done. This line tapers in a little bit, just paying attention to a little bit of the detail of Optimus's body. This comes in a little bit like that. Now we can come back up. There's a gray border that kind of separates this. And it comes around like this here. Okay. All right, we want to start right here, and there's going to be simplistic windows here. So you want to have little curves here. You know, just draw them in, and you can freestyle this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I encourage you to draw and just learn how to freehand as much as you can, because it improves your speed, and you don't have to rely as much on straight edges and rulers, although it makes it look much cleaner and it makes the drawing look a little better. What it does have is cons too, is opposite of the pros. The con is when you straight edges too much and you go too dark, the mistake is there. You can't get rid of it. Very hard to erase that mistake once you use a ruler, because you press harder, because you're more confident. When you freehand, you can go back and erase, and you can get rid of lines a lot better because it's a little looser. All right, so notice what I've done with the windows of his chest. You want to put additional lines in here to make it look like an imprint of a window. Go ahead and do that as I'm doing it. Repeat the same thing for the left side of his chest. All right, now if you notice, it's coming together now. He does have these three lights that's on here that lights up on the tractor trailer. So we're going to put that there. It's 3 half circles. That's all. 3 half circles that you want to drop in there. 1, 2, 3. Even if you have to make these shapes in M and then an extra hump, it's fine. Now, we're going to go ahead on and deal with some of the shapes on the left of his arm, or the left side rather. We're going to go ahead on and add an additional line here so that it looks more dimensional. And then add a line that tapers in this way and this way. Close that off, and then close the back side of this off. Now, he has a simplistic line that comes down like this, another one that goes like this and it closes. And down here, for some reason, he has what looks like 3 rectangular shapes here, and then an arrow kind of shape, like a triangular shape that points towards his wrist. I don't know what that means or what it does, but we're going to repeat that. And then we're going to go ahead on now and move to Optimus's right arm. So just like this arm here, we're going to just come out of the side this way. Bring this line down like this. And to measure that, I'm going to come across. This is the way you always measure. It's the easiest thing to do. Come over here, and then you want to just taper this off this way. Come under here and repeat the same thing this side. It's just that his right arm is a little more stationary to the side of his body. It works for me because it's simplistic and you can get the drawing done a lot quicker because he's not doing a whole lot. Same line there. Let me make sure I'm matching this here. This is coming down to here. So I'm going to go ahead on and correct this because it does come down a little lower. So I'm going to bring that down to about here, just so that it matches. And put the line here and going back there. Alright, now we're going to do, of course, the bottom portion, which is this. And all you have to do is just have that line go right off the edge. And this edge right here, like I said before, represents the end. That's why you see them kind of floating there. And it's not a bad thing. It's just showing you where you want the drawing to end. And then do the same thing as you have over here. Bring that line up just a little bit so it matches. Excuse me. Do the same thing. This side kind of leans over a little more than this one. So this side is lower. We don't have to worry about that. He does have the same thing on this arm as on this arm. So it does stop here. Excuse me. You want to bring this up like this. Right about here. Stop that. And then come up just above the shoulder. Like that. Boom. There we go. Okay. And we're going to go ahead on and for the center, we're going to have this line come down the center. Had a line come over like this. This is what is on his waist. So we're going to go ahead on and put that there. He has what looks like a square shape here. And he has a shape that kind of, a triangular shape that comes over this way. I'm going to draw a line this way so that we can match that over here. Like this. And then it repeats itself as just smaller. Just like that. And I'm gonna put a line here just so I can be a little bit more accurate. And then of course we're gonna finish his waist because it is actually right off this line. It's gonna come over like this, come back, and then go down like this off the page, just like that. And then it's kind of like you see the edge of his leg starting there, and then this kind of goes off the edge like this, and we're gonna do the same thing. All right. This concludes how to draw Optimus Prime from the 80s cartoon animated series. Please leave a comment, let me know if you enjoyed this video. And what I plan to do, of course, as I always do, is once the video is completed and done, I'm going to clean it up with an eraser. You won't see that part, of course. And then I will ink it, and then you'll see what it looks like inked at the end. And then, of course, I'll always add that, try to add the hottest covers I can on YouTube. And also for this video, I'm going to start putting this. Let me know if you think my covers are the hottest, and give it that a like, this video a like, and I appreciate you. And until next time, take care.